Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our weekly Q&A. Today, we are again joined by Paul, and he has an urgent question. So, Paul.
An urgent question. Yes, came across a really great prospect for him. Ideal, nice size organization. And I got to meet with the CEO. We're having this great discussion for 2 hours. So I think it's going really well. And then he asked me the question, the one that I kind of dread, he says, well, are you expensive? And somehow I get stuck between the, no, I don't want to sound, I want to sound cheap and I don't want to sound regular. And anyway, so I fouled it up and said I was regular, but I think that's probably not the right answer.
It's
not the best answer. Not the best answer, man.
Yeah. If a half joke answer is in order, then I would say my demeanor is reasonable, but my prices are high. So that's a half joke answer. I would say the only good answer to that is yes. Yes, I am expensive. Yes. You can tone that down by saying not yes, but well, I'm not expensive in comparison to the cost of not hiring me. Or my clients have an ROI within X months, so it doesn't matter. So these are all valid things, right? I mean, it's a provocative question, one I have never been asked, but then again, I directly say to people, yes, I am expensive without them asking. So maybe that's why. Basically, no good can come out of you being defensive on that front. And I think it's a half joke question, or at least a provocative question designed to make you go on the defensive about your price, right? So I would say not to play that game like that. Because if you say yes, it's not like the client will, hang up or, throw down their fork and run away screaming. You will have ample opportunity to show value that covers the whatever cost they were thinking. Because expensive is a flexible term, right? It may mean different things for different people. And that question then, if you say yes, it sets up certain expectations, and meeting expectations is more important than we think. So this way you set yourself for them to expect a higher price. Now, if the price that you ultimately say is below what they feared it would be, what they feared it means that you're expensive, you're on the roll, you get a boost. If your price is above what they feared, basically you lose nothing. You already said you were expensive, right?
Yes.
So at least it won't surprise them. There's nothing you can effectively lose by saying yes. And about expectations, I just wanted to illustrate this. You said a restaurant. So let's say that you're hungry and you go to a popular restaurant and there's a lot of people, there's a crowd, right? And you do find a place to sit. And the waiter comes to you just briefly and says, I'm sorry, there's a bit of a rush. I'll be here in 5 minutes. I'll take your order. And he comes after 10. You're annoyed. But if he said, I'm sorry, there's a bit of a rush. I'll be here in 15 minutes. And he comes after 10, the same 10 minutes as before, you're happy you're going to leave him a tip.
Yes.
So you're equally hungry. It's equally crowded. And he comes after the equal amount of minutes. But your satisfaction is completely different depending on the expectation that he set. People think they're throwing you a curveball this way, asking you, are you expensive? But they're actually doing you a favor. They're setting you up for a great expectation that can, I don't think it can actually bite you.
Yeah. But it's a great interview question. It's a bit like, so are you the best person for the job? Yes, because, you can, one of some of the words you picked up on there that you mentioned that were interesting for me is to be able to say, okay, yes, I am expensive because this is important to my clients and they have high expectations and I deliver on them.
Yeah.
Could you say that?
Sure. I would talk of ROI more than that because it's more concrete.
It's a mix ROI into that sentence?
Yeah.
How would you mix ROI?
How would I mix ROI? Yes, I'm expensive. I have to be, because I have to be effective, because to my clients this is important and they expect a higher ROI in, I don't know, 3 months.
Yeah.
To do that, you have to be effective, and to do that, you have to be expensive. That's how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Thank you. That helps.
You have a follow-up?
There was a different kind of question. And so this one's around two pricing points in an offer. And so the one pricing point, let's say, is $1,200, the other one's $2,400. And in my head, I know that $1,200 is once a week sessions, and then the $2,400, it's twice a week sessions. There are other things too. But part of the challenge I'm having is when I present it like that, they start thinking of it in terms of sessions, and that's not the point.
They
So I need to
construct
work out I need to work out a different way of presenting it.
they construct a formula, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so each session is actually no. Okay, I would not present it like that, or I would move the price point a little bit. If both of them are clearly multiples of two, that's simply too leading from experience for them
Okay.
to construct a formula.
So I would be quite happy to just leave the sessions out of it. I need to get that out of my head so I don't mention it. If I could reconstruct it like that, it would more accurately reflect what I do.
I would say I would talk about the symptoms maybe. So with the 1200 version, you will get proficient at this and confident in that. And with the 2400 version, you will get both proficient, confident, and prolific. You will create quantity sufficient to whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Which will guarantee a quicker return on investment, but it also requires more of your time.
Yes.
So you set the expectation right, that they're going to have to do more work and pay more money, but it will get them where they need to go faster.
Yeah, it makes sense to me with a higher offer because I could describe it as, so this is the keynote package, quicker return, more of your time, you get to speak on a larger stage.
Exactly. And I would not do a straight ×2. So if one is 1200, I would put the other at 2500, not 24. Or redo the lower one to be 13 and not 12. So I would not have a straight ×2 multiplier.
Yeah.
Something a little off is better, I think.
1400 and 2400.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So they have a 1000 in between them. That's fine.
Good. Thank you.
What if the ROI is too complicated to explain? The client comes because of a symptom, but to remove that symptom, you have to get to the underlying problem. It's rarely what they think it is, right? Underlying problems can be complicated and confusing to clients. And if you mix ROI, return on investment, in this, how do they recoup their investment? It can get really complicated really fast. But you can simplify it if you just talk about the symptom that they came to see you about anyway. Symptoms can be used instead of underlying problems to illustrate the ROI in a much clearer way so that the client can understand, because a confused client won't buy and they won't have their problem solved. So if you actually solve their problem, but explain it to them like you're just solving the symptom, that's also okay. You will have ample time to explain them what's really going on once they say, yes, this is a good idea. There's nothing bad about it. You will solve their problem. You will remove their symptom, but sometimes trying to explain too much upfront will just result in the client bolting, because it's risky to pay money to solve a problem that you don't understand or you don't recognize. So you know you have the symptom, but you didn't know that you had the underlying problem. And it takes time and confidence and trust to say, okay, this guy probably knows what he's talking about. If he says I have that underlying problem and I have a symptom, then probably that is an underlying problem. But it's hard to do that within, let's say, a sales conversation. So it's perfectly fine to simplify it and only talk about the symptom. Once upon a time, I talked about strategic marketing. And one of the symptoms of bad strategic marketing is that your price is too low. But as long as I talked to clients about strategic marketing, nobody understood. They thought they didn't need me. And then I took one of the most prominent symptoms, which is the price that is too low, and started talking about that. And today you all come here for pricing advice, and it is pricing advice. And a lot of what I'm talking about is pure pricing. But my background and my deep work is about using strategic marketing to help clients fix their prices. But I don't talk about that much just because of this reason. It's too complicated. It includes words like marketing, which people confuse with advertising, with branding, with a million other things. And there's no reason to spend my or client 3 hours per potential client to explain them what's going on down in the deep below. It's a pricing problem, it's a pricing symptom, and I fix people's prices. That I'm digging through their strategic marketing to do that is something that they don't need to know right away. So that's the same for you. I hope that cleared it up. I'm on retainer and the work is okay, but the client wants me to read too many email chains. How do I say it's too much? Being on retainer means that both the scope of the price and your work should stay fixed. So an average amount of work for a fixed price, that's a typical retainer. But you're still not an employee. You were hired to solve a specific type of problem or problems. So the question is, what value can the client get from your reading all email chains? If they can clearly express that, maybe you could set up a quicker way of getting informed. If they can't really say what value they can get out of it, emphasize that reading emails eats up a lot of your time. You could be spending working on solutions, which you were hired to do, right? And that you staying in the loop can be solved in a more efficient way, or is maybe not needed at all. That also could be something that can be expressed. This should be dealt with because it's a slippery slope. If the client knows that they can just add stuff to your retainer, only more things will be added. This is crucial that you take the time to explain what you're actually doing for them, because sometimes clients will get nervous. Okay, I'm paying this for sure. Is this person actually having enough work? Maybe I should add this, maybe I should add that. Remember, they don't really know what you're doing. They know what they expect of you, but clients who pay retainers can get nervous and can start to add nonsensical things. And this is something that needs to be addressed because it will otherwise it will only grow. How do I price an idea that no one else is yet offering? Well, this can be understood in many ways, but if you have a technological advantage, it likely won't last. If you only have an innovative idea, it will usually be ignored or it will be copied. And when they copy you, they will say, well, anyone could have thought of that. The idea is generic. So the way to use any price advantage you found along with your superior expertise about the market is to solve specific costly problems with that innovation of yours. So it's not about the innovation, it's about the type of problems that you can solve with them. And then, this is important, you should price the problem, not just the time, materials, and things people can touch, but price the problem. How much is the problem usually costing people? Well, if it costs less or it's a better deal because it costs more, but it's quicker, it's less risky. If you manage to price the problem, then you will have some early profits, which you can then invest into communicating your value properly and base your price on your expertise, not your costs. And that way you can stay competitive. Because if you price on costs, there's always somebody who can lower that. At least they can just copy you. They didn't have your costs of R&D or something. And if what you do is good and worthwhile, there will be cheap knockoffs of your idea, whatever it is. It's the internet. If you're not ignored, you're going to be copied. But when the cheap knockoffs arrive at the marketplace, everyone will be able to tell that these are Me Too products or services which are copied from the real thing, because you are known for your expertise, not just for that innovation. Of course, this doesn't mean that you would lose no clients after the knockoffs arrive. Bad clients may run after savings, but that only means they will leave you with the good clients who don't care about a 20% discount or whatever, and who will help you stay competitive in the long run with their ideas or their praise or their attention. So how do you price an idea that no one else is yet offering? You price the problem that it solves. That's the quickest way to get competitive and stay competitive with your price. Clients love discounts, but my high-tier competitors offer no discounts. How do they get away with it? I'm not a fan of discounts myself, but sometimes they're expected, like you said. But they're expected if the service that we're talking about is fairly generic, if it's interchangeable in a way, or if it looks that way. When you buy potatoes at a discount, you know you're going to throw away more than expensive potatoes, so many more parts will be chaff, and you will actually get less potatoes for cooking. But it can still be a good bargain. If you buy a cheaper house, you know you're going to have to fix her up or walk more toward the bus or something, have worse roads or pay more for utilities or all of the above. We have this instinct that's hard to shake, right? You get what you pay for. And with physical things, it's fairly straightforward, fairly, as long as what you're buying is not really complicated, like a drone or something like that in this day and age. But this doesn't translate well into expert services because they are not generic. They are non-interchangeable. And there's no easy way to tell what part of the desired future state that the service was supposed to produce is going to be left out. Because that's the expectation, right? With the potatoes in the house, if the price is lower, if there's a discount, there's a reason for a discount. Something is missing. But it's fairly easy to detect what is missing on a potato or a house, more or less. You can't really know what's missing out of a service. The service is a future state. What you're buying with the service is, I'm here now, I would like to be there after the service. So not being able to know what will be left out because of the discount heavily increases the perceived risk of the service, sometimes negating the desired effect that the price drop should have had. So you would like to attract people by giving them discount, and you do, but you at the same time repulse them by the thought that what you are going to sell them is not going to be whole. There's going to be a part missing in some way. So as the monetary price goes down, the risk of being saddled with a too good to be true deal goes up, and you end up pretty much where you started. This is why, especially if somebody is expensive, somebody has a high tier price, as you asked, they can get away with it because what people buy from an expert is borrowed confidence. They don't have enough confidence about solving the problem, and they would like to hire somebody who does. And yeah, this one is expensive, but it's going to be complete. It looks like I'm going to get everything that I need to get, and offering a discount would just signal that there will be something missing. It doesn't have to be a good signal. There's probably nothing missing, but we have this instinct and it's hard to shake. So that's how they get away with it. People think, oh, good, this one will actually do it right. He will not cut corners, just like he cut his price. It's not just the high tier pricing that can get away with this, but you have to have the confidence to ask for that. It's basically the same like with upfront pricing, advance payment and stuff. You have to have the confidence to ask that, but then again, confidence is what your client is buying. So it all fits. Thank you very much for your questions. I'm looking forward to more, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks in this time.
Everything changes.